Well, hello and welcome everybody to the new health conversation. And for the censors out there that guard the community guidelines, which we totally respect, we always let you know that at the new health conversation, we talk about like an ultimate breakthrough. It's all back. It's been published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. So we're not making anything up. We make no claims. All we do is we supply people with the knowledge and the information that they also can go and look, because they're all in the public domain. We make no claims, no outrageous statements. Everything we're talking about is safe. It's been medically verified. That's something that's very unique about what we do compared to anybody else on all of social media. So we always want to let you know that we're following very closely the community guidelines to make sure we don't make claims. We don't say anything to people that's not true or made up or a fabrication. Everything is all our original research and content, just to clarify that. Well, hello everybody. Let's see, Frockin. The ultimate weight loss breakthrough, backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trials rendering all diets utterly irrelevant. I know that's a really strong statement, but it's really true. This whole thing around diets that you're all on by counting calories, they're doomed to failure. Not because I say so, because study after study, like the grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. That's from some of the top now new nutrition weight loss researchers in the entire world. Nothing that I will present to you is my opinion. None of you know me. It's not important. I'm not trying to impress you. But you can see there I've written 4 best-selling books and a 5th book that just came out. We'll see if it's a bestseller. I've done over 1,500 lectures all over the world, and I've done over 20 shows on public broadcasting, and I'm a nutritional researcher. And I will tell you right away, not that I'm the expert, but I became an expert on the experts. I've worked with some of the top medical doctors, oncologists, molecular biologists, geneticists, nutraceutical chemists, and researchers in the entire world. And what we're going to show you today is the latest science. It took over 40 years of research, over 100 studies, thousands of people, and they finally figured out that there's a new way to lose weight that has nothing to do with counting calories, has nothing to do with exercise. Now, if you're really interested in changing, you can come on and jump off and think you're going to do Atkins or paleo or keto, and somehow it's going to work. They're absolute miserable failures. As a matter of fact, we've got major studies, like I'll give you one example. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School telling you to stop counting calories. But what can you do as an alternative? That's the problem. You don't know what to do. I mean, I would tell you all this, just one of the things that, yes, let's keep those taps going on there to get some more likes going. Listen, we are your advocates. We are your friends. We're not here. By the way, there's no products to buy. Okay? No products. This is a new way of eating and new food groups. These are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. I'm going to show you some pictures here in just a moment, before and afters. I swear in my kids' lives, they're not photoshopped. You'll think they are. Okay? Let's start first with Kristen, who we're going to really talk about how she did this. All these people did the same thing. By the way, she was not allowed to exercise. She lost 21 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. That's not fake. That is real. That is absolutely, that's 5 pounds a week. How many of you would give anything? Most of you are losing maybe a pound a week. Am I correct? I'd love for someone to put in the chat how you doing on these diets. And although you may lose weight temporarily up front, you know that it stops and then it starts to come back. Do you know across all the studies, I have a big study here I have it in my hand, in the Journal of the American Medical Association. It was a 12-month study where they looked at 7,286 people and looked at almost every diet out there. That was the title, Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs. You know what they found in a year? You know what the average weight loss was in 12 months? 16 pounds. That's like 1.25 pounds a month. Now, I'm not saying that people didn't lose weight initially, but then they found it started creeping, comeback, the famous yo-yo effect. You all know if you've experienced it. Because here's the problem. You're counting calories, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, because I didn't know what a calorie was either. Do any of you actually even know what a calorie is, or what it does, or what it doesn't do? I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It has nothing to do with your hunger. It has nothing to do with your health. It has everything to do with nothing. It's just a measurement. I'd love for someone to give me the definition of a calorie. Does anybody even know what the definition of a calorie is? I'm not trying to be controversial. Look, I'm a nutrition researcher. We've provided a free medical website for all of you to go to. See it there in blue, the New Health Conversation. And the only thing on there is the medical proof. Listen, this protocol called R2M, that's what it's called. It's been published now in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. That is the highest endorsement you can have on the planet. How come the people you're following that are doing keto and paleo and Mediterranean, how come they don't have peer-reviewed human trial studies? You know why? Because the claims that they're making, they can't back up. They'd be exposed. Because when you, not me, I didn't do the research. I didn't create this new protocol. But look at her. Look at her, everybody. If you could lose 5 pounds a week, I'd love for anyone to put in the chat. If we're not lying to you and that's real, why would you not be curious to go find out how you could do this? And the website's free to go there, and then you get a free coach. No, it's free coaching. There's no gimmicks. I mean, are you interested in really changing your life or not? Or do you want to hang on to these old, worn out dogmas about calories in, calories out? It doesn't work. Do you understand? The researchers who created this had done 100 studies on humans over 40 years. They never found a calorie in, calorie out diet that ever kept weight off long term. You all know I'm right. You've experienced it. Now, you might not like what I'm saying because you've lost 10, 15, 20 pounds. Congratulations. But when you gain it all back and more, are you going to think, wait a minute, that was the wrong diet? All diets don't work long term. At least after 40 years, they've never found one where people, not only that, do you know the weight you're losing on any diet? Did you know 25 to 40% on a traditional diet is lean muscle mass, which slows your metabolism down? That's why you gain all the weight back. It's not up for debate. It's not like, well, I wonder if that's going to happen. It is happening. I mean, you got people like Medicare. I think I have it here. Yeah. Listen to this, Medicare. They said, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying that. I mean, it's not, I don't want you to believe me, but do you believe in science? Do you believe in real science instead of all this fluff that we're seeing that is not working? My God, from 1995 to 2025, the obesity rates in the United States have doubled. Doubled. We got more diets. My God, there's so many diets, it's crazy. None of them work. Do you understand? You could change your life starting today by go to the, I mean, if you want to, you can see it right there in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. The only thing on there is the medical proof. The studies, these published studies on this protocol are there. Are you interested in losing 5 pounds a week with no exercise? They weren't allowed to exercise, by the way. They had to wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. What are you all doing? I'd love for you to put in the chat. How long would it take? So what's the answer, Nick? I'm going to explain it to you and give me one more second. So before I do that, Nick, let me just show you other quick. It's not just her, okay? Look at this, Nick and everybody else. 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. And this is the daughter of a friend of mine. 60 pounds in 3 months. And then, you know, when you get older, they always say it's hard to lose weight. Well, look at this gentleman. That is not Photoshop. 40.8 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days. And before you say it's unsafe, when they measured, they found he lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Look at how much his stomach went down. That's in 30 days with no exercise allowed. So let's come back. I know everybody's anxious to find out, okay, how did they do it? First, it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world who had done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years. And they said the fatal flaw of all diets that people are concentrated on is calories in, calories out thing. The biggest problem with that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. The only thing, your body, you stay alive because of 3 things: air, water, and nutrition. So the researchers said it's pretty clear. Can we come up with a program where we could give you food, less food by quantity, but find foods with higher levels of nutrition? That was the whole concept. So they started out, here's what you would get. 30% of the food that you bought last month in your grocery store, that's all you'd buy this month from your grocery store, even organic, and you'd get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of calorie amounts, they don't want you counting calories. No calorie counting. They gave serving sizes, okay? So 30% of what you would consume or buy would come from your grocery store. Now, here's the key. The other 70% they used in the studies did not, well, they don't have any products to sell. We don't have any, there's no products. This is food. So if you think I'm going to hold up some magic elixir or magic pill, and no, none of that nonsense. No, we're past that. We're past that stage, right? The other 70% came from other researchers who've gone around the world, Nick, to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the foods that she was going to take, and you would take. Then they created a whole new way of eating called protein pacing. It's so unique that they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, of this new way of eating. So protein pacing. is broken into two parts, 5 days a week and 2 days a week. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started out with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. Not an option, not 3 meals, not 2 meals, not skipping meals, no. And the timing, it was the nutrition over a time span that made all the difference. Because they tried it different ways. They tried 3 meals a day. They tried lunch and dinner. It didn't work. It was the spacing. It was the most effective way for the body basically then to begin to release the weight. Now, that's 2 days a week. She did something that'll be controversial when I tell you all, intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world, but this time she ate 8 times a day. Yeah, she was eating every hour and a half. Diabetics on this, no insulin spikes. They proved in a month's time, people weigh 300-400 pounds, weren't hungry. See, here's the fallacy. You've never been hungry for a calorie. It would be impossible. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. So how could you be hungry for calories? No, what you're hungry for is nutrition. And if you can give the body enough nutrition so that it thinks is enough to run, because see, the nutrition runs your organs. It keeps you alive. It runs your brain, your heart, your kidney, your liver. It doesn't run on calories. It runs on nutrition. Hopefully I'm making sense to everybody, right? So the key to this, and here's the other thing, it's not a diet. As a matter of fact, they weren't allowed to exercise. You know what it is? It's a detox. Now, how can I say that? Because the researchers, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this was removing chemicals that we're all storing in our fat cells. They proved it through blood, stool, urine, and fat. No diet's ever removed a gram of toxin from the body. Now, lest you think it, all of us, including me, have this new medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office of a new medical syndrome that everybody has. Peter Greenlaw, who's that? Oh, I guess that's me. I did discover it. That's not what matters. So what's happening to us now is we're breathing and drinking, unless you don't think we're living in a toxic world, because we are. My God, they did a study on 10,000 municipal water plants around this country, and they found that in the drinking water, there were between 250 and 400 toxic chemicals in all the drinking water. Sounds great, right? They were found in things like prescription drugs in the water that we're drinking. Sounds good to me. So the key here was that the detox was really occurring. Another thing, for the first time ever, they measured inflammation. It came down 25% in a month. And let me be clear, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical diseases. That's not what we're doing. All we're doing, I shouldn't say all, what we're showing you by in the site, you'll get to see the medical studies. They're there. They're there. They're published in these huge medical journals. It's not an opinion that I'm giving you. I don't want you to believe me. But do you believe in science? If you don't, well, good luck. I would say this to you. Whatever diet you're on, let me know how that turns out. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger every year as a world. There's 2.5 billion people worldwide overweight, and 1 billion of those are clinically obese. And you know what the researchers said from the Lancet, the #1 medical journal in the world that did the studies? That obesity now is the leading form of malnutrition in the world. What? Yeah. Why? Because people are relying on calories. And we're missing nutrients, vitamins, minerals, botanicals. Why do you think people are so hungry? They're not hungry for more calories. They're hungry for more nutrition. And it's really pretty simple. If you can meet the minimum requirements or more that the body requires to run all the organs, you're going to lose weight, at least down to the weight that you should be. See, what's happening is you ingest these chemicals, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it in your fat cell. That's why most of you complain about how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in your body. What's amazing to me is people still are holding on to this dogma. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, macros, I don't care what the diet is. They all, basically in a year, they're losing about 1.25 pounds a month. That's like 6 ounces a week on average. Yeah, you lose weight initially, but then it comes creeping back. You all know that I'm right. It's not your fault. It's the wrong approach. It's like we're defining the definition of insanity. So we go from keto to paleo to Mediterranean to count your macros, carb recycling, whatever it is. It doesn't work. I mean, when Medicare is saying Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment of obesity. The study showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. That's Medicare telling you this. And you're all on diets doing what for what, thinking what? You really think you're going to weigh less 6 months from now than you do right now? I hope you do. But the reality is no. Not because I say so. You can't ignore the statistics. The science is the science. It has no emotions, unlike me. Now, the other part of this is so critical is maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. I mean, all these people I'm showing you, they've kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Actually, no. If you're talking about a traditional fast, Pretty Pink. Here's the problem with that, Pretty Pink. There's nothing to support what you're talking about. If you fast, like a water fast for more than 24 hours, the only 40% of what you're losing, it's not my opinion, is lean muscle mass. Get that out of your mind. It's just true. That's what happens. When you don't have enough nutrition, your body turns your muscles into fuel, whether you believe it or not. See, what you're trying to do is you don't. These researchers did all those over 40 years, human trials on real human beings. This is, and that fast has nothing to do with removing chemicals from your body. Nothing, zero. This is a detox plus maintenance. She has kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. And how simple is maintenance? Your breakfast every morning of these exotic foods around the world. Because the other thing that I'll tell you, 30% of the food came from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic locations in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that have huge amounts of nutrition and small quantities of food. Unless you're on a doctor's prescription for like a calcium or iron deficiency, you don't need supplements if you're going to do this. That's every morning. My breakfast is these exotic foods. Some of the nutrients come from the areas of the world, these blue zones where people are living to be 100 years old. I want to put that in my body. You do whatever you want to do. But if you think you're going to do it with food in North America, you're sorely mistaken. Our food in North America is becoming all but nutritionally insufficient, and I'm being kind. Let me give you a quick example. They did 200 studies comparing organic food in this country to regular food. It was about 10 to 15% better for nutrition, not 100%. And it's better because it has less pollution. That's why I eat organic, but not because it's more nutritious. You're not going to do what I'm talking. They tried to do what you're talking about with regular food, all organic. They did it for 40 years. They never found a diet where people kept the weight off long term, ever, ever, ever. Is that enough evers? I know you all think that you've got the secret. If any of you are doing any of these diets and they work, how is it possible that the projection is now, Johns Hopkins Medical School, that in 4 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight and obese? Do we just go like this and pretend we don't see it? Go to the beach. Go to the mall. My God, look what's happening. Look at a picture of people on the beach in 1970. And now it's crazy. And what do? We keep doing more of the same thing, more diets with some new name, a celebrity diet, the milk diet, the grapefruit diet, the South Beach. I don't care what diet it is. When they did this huge analysis, the Journal of the American Medical Association, 12 months, 7,286 people, 48 different trials, and they analyzed pretty much all the major diets. In a year's time, the weight loss was 16 pounds in a year. Why are you kidding yourselves? And some of you may have lost more. I get that. But the problem is that 25 to 40% of the weight they're losing on any of these diets is lean muscle mass. It's not up for to have a discussion about it. That's the medical proof, for crying out loud. I've got study after study over here, titled, Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. The science behind why diets don't work. Oh, listen to this. Our researchers found that despite all the ads that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good. Not only that, 2/3 of people who diet regain more weight than they originally lost, ending up at a higher weight than where they started. A review of more than 30 long-term studies show that going on a diet actually causes weight gain. What? I mean, you can be mad at me and think I don't know what I'm talking about. Are you doing the research? I've done 23 years of it. And these top researchers in the world, they did 100 studies on thousands of people. They proved no diet has ever worked until now. They invented this, not me. It has nothing to do with me. It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with, they don't even want you to count calories. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Can anybody give me the actual technical definition of a calorie? Nikita, I'm going to explain it here in just a moment, what they did. So the researchers, they had 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people. They never found a diet where people lost weight and kept it off. You know that I'm right. That's what's going on with all of you. And maybe you've lost the weight. Congratulations. But you're terrified it's going to. Most people at the gym are working out not to lose weight, but try not to have the weight come back. Does anyone really think that diets are working? Could you please? I'd love for anybody to put it in the chat. I'm open to any discussion that's reasonable, but it's unreasonable to try and tell me when we have a projection in 4 years that 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese, you're going to try and convince me that diets work. If any of these diets work, they'd have $1 trillion company. I mean, we have 2.5 billion people worldwide overweight. Do you think, is that a big enough market? I mean, this is crazy. So these researchers said, stop, we're going to start from scratch. Number one, no calorie counting. What they did, because here's the thing you have to understand. Your body doesn't know what a calorie is. Your body does. You're counting calories. Why? You don't even know what a calorie is. I didn't. Maybe you do. I've had 10 people in a year give me the actual definition of a calorie, and yet you're all counting calories. You've been brainwashed into this calories in, calories out, how to lose weight. Well, wait a minute. I got Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories, for crying out loud. Harvard. So the researchers said, we got to do something different. We got to base it on one principle. Your body needs a minimum amount, not of calories, of nutrition in order for you to be alive. That's because nutrition is the fuel that runs all your organs, your brain, your kidney, your liver, your heart, etc. So what they did, they said, we're going to go and find foods where we think we can give you less food by quantity, but more nutrition. And that's what they did. They cooked together. You'd get a food list for the new people coming on. So only 30% of the food you would actually purchase, like if you took whatever you bought last month, figure only 30% you're going to spend this month at your grocery store, and you're going to get a list, but not calorie counting, serving sizes of what? Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. No guesswork. It's all laid out for you. So if it's steak or chicken, how many ounces? If it's vegetables, at a third or half a cup, depending on what the vegetable is. It's all laid out. But they're the top people in the world. This is not me telling you how to do this. And this was a theory when they started this, to prove, could this work? So 30% of what you would eat comes from the grocery store. But here's what separated it from everything. By the way, there are no products here. So it's not like I'm going to hold up some magic elixir and you're going to lose weight. That's all nonsense. There's no science behind any of that crap, okay? The other 70% came from other researchers who had gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge quantities of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the foods, 30% you're going to buy from your grocery store, 70% from these researchers. You don't buy anything from us. We don't have anything for sale. You're buying either from your grocery store or from these researchers, right? Then the people who put this together created a new way of eating. What? Yeah, it's called protein pacing. Now, it's so revolutionary, the U.S. Patent Office gave them a registered trademark. Now, what's protein pacing? 5 days a week out of 7, you would have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods for breakfast that you can't buy at your grocery store, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. So not 1 meal or 2 meals, it's got to be 4 meals. And the timing, that's what protein pacing is. Listen, the Patent Office gave them a registered trademark that this is so unique, right? Then 2 days a week, she did, you did, I did, something called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. You know, diabetics on this, there were no insulin spikes. In a month's time, people's hunger went down 41%. But that's the tip of the iceberg. The main reason to do this is detoxification. The research did blood, stool. Nate, yeah, the temporary solutions makes sense. People gain it all back. Needs to be lifestyle change. Well, but the lifestyle change, you need to know what that lifestyle change looks like. That's what I'm trying to teach you right now. So let me finish. The main reason, the number one reason to do this is detox your body. And the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving this was assisting the body in removing chemicals from the body. See, what's happening to all of us, and the reason that we have so much weight is because because of the fact that we're storing chemicals in our fat cells and the fat cells expand. And that's why so many people don't just complain about how much weight they've gained, they complain about how much fat they have on their body. And so the point is, the new lifestyle is this. It's called R2M. You know what that stands for? Race to maintenance. These pictures you're looking at, they're 8 or 9 years old. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. 23 years ago. And I've been able to keep it off. So this is not a diet. Now, the other thing they found that's never been shown on any diet, this also lowered inflammation in a month by 25%. And the other key is maintenance. So the number one reason to do it is detoxification. We have the medical proof to back it up. Secondly, it lowers inflammation. Third is maintenance, so that you can continue to do it for the rest of your life. And fourth is the weight loss. We're not even concerned about the weight loss. That's like, look at these other people, everybody. How about 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise? Look at how much your body shrank. That's the detox portion of this. This is not Photoshop. It's not fake. As a matter of fact, it's published in the biggest medical journals in the world. Anything you're suggesting, any of you, about whatever where's the medical proof behind it? You know, it's good to say things like, yeah, we need a lifestyle change. Great, but lifestyle change to what? To what? This look at this. This is my friend's daughter. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? Look at that. Is it even the same woman? Are we lying to you? If we are, you're on the wrong podcast. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. That's 3 months, 5 pounds a week for 3 months. You trying to tell me any diet ever did anything like this? You're all on here. You have a chance to change your lives. And right above her head in blue, you can all see it, the new health conversation. Do you understand? That's a free medical website for you to go. You type in Google. I'll show you right now, everybody. Go to Google, type in the new health conversation. I'm going to show you the website. There's nothing to buy on there. We won't contact you if you go there, by the way. So click on the new health conversation. There's the website. The only thing there is medical proof, including a podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who invented this. They have no products to sell. And number 3, you can see them right there. You click, it takes you to the medical studies, not scientific papers. These are peer-reviewed human trial studies. It's as high as you can go in medical investigation. And I know people are well-meaning. They want to give me their opinions, but there's no facts behind it. Yes, again, you need a lifestyle change, but to what? Do you know what to do? Because it's not calorie counting and eating organic food and carb counting or macro counting or any of that stuff. Never, ever, ever works. They did the research. In 12 months, doing all those diets, the only difference in weight in a year between the most and the least was 3 to 4 pounds, and the most, on average, people lost was 16 pounds. There were people losing 11 pounds in a year on these crazy diets. It's not just me. If you believe in science, how do you argue against that? What would be your counterpoint to that, all of you? Are you excited about the prospect? How many of you, men or women, how about losing 5 pounds a week with no exercise? They weren't allowed to exercise. They were Fitbits because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. So who else would like to ask me a question? Look, you've got a free website to go to. We're not going to contact you. And if you like what you see, you get a free coach. Coaching is free. Guess how expensive it is? It's $0. And why do we do free coaching? Because you've never done anything like this before. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no thyroids, let alone goiter and Hashimoto's and all that. And we're not curing, treating, diagnosing, or preventing any medical disease. All we're doing is sharing with you what's published in these huge medical studies. Who else is showing you this? Before you jump off it, tell me, who else is showing you peer-reviewed human trial medical studies on anything even? Plus, you trying to tell me that you're going to show me something where people are losing 21 pounds in a month and 38 inches? With no exercise, and they're keeping it off for 8, 9, well, in her case, 8 years so far, or 9 years. And she only had 30 pounds to lose. She lost 70% of what she wanted. How much? I mean, honestly, if you got on the scale after, say, 4 days, because most of the time, the researchers say just give us 4 days, because they found that most people will lose as much weight in 4 days as a month on any diet. How much would that incentivize you? Because at best, you're going to lose a pound a week on a diet, and that goes down from there. Because the studies are showing they're losing 16 pounds in a year. That's like 20 ounces a month. I mean, come on. That's what's, do you want to ignore reality? If you want to see reality, go to the beach. I hope you still have vacation. You can go to a beach. But go to the mall, it's so unbelievably sad. And I can address this. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I loved her. It didn't matter. I saw fat shaming. I saw her broken heart. I saw her do diet after diet after diet after diet. She called me up 24 years ago and said, Peter, I have one really big wish in my life. And I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's really cool. 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. I don't like diets. I think you can tell that. My mom did about every diet there was. I really believe she dieted herself to death because she'd lose 20 and gain 25 back. She'd lose 25 and gain 30 back. Many of you have experienced that. Many of you have insatiable hunger because you have to understand the hunger in your body is only created by one thing, and it's not lack of calories. It's lack of nutrition. Do you all get that? Do you understand? So Leslie Shields and Shelabella, Azandra and Melanie and Benita and RN and Teresa and One Make BA. If I missed your name, I'm not being rude. It's only, and can we get some more taps? We're only at 455. We've been on for 31 minutes, and I've got to go in about another 10 minutes. So please feel free to ask me. But in the meantime, you don't even have to listen to me. Go look right in blue, right above her head. Can everybody see that? The new health conversation. Please put in the chat a yes if you can, and keep tapping on that screen. I'd love some feedback from all of you. Please tell me. Does this make sense? I mean, are you curious? How did she lose 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise? Or my friend April's, the daughter of a friend of mine, 60 pounds in 3 months. And you know, oh, when you get older, it's hard to lose weight. Don't tell this gentleman that. 65 years old, 40.8 pounds, 52 inches. But look at his blood work, his lab work. Look at it, A1C, 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. Are you trying to tell me any diet you're on? I mean, I hope you're not a diabetic, because we had tons of diabetics on this. Do you know what else what they found for diabetics? The need for insulin, like in his case and all the other diabetics, the need for insulin came down 41%, and his doctor and other doctors with the diabetics had to cut their meds by 50% in 30 days. The doctors did it, not the researchers. I understand you're all struggling. This can't be real. It's fake. It's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast. Well, first of all, on a diet, it would never happen. Yeah, if you lose more than a pound a week on a diet, it's unbelievably unhealthy, because we know, for example, that 25 to 40% of the actual pounds you're losing are your lean muscle mass. It's not like you come off the diet and you regain your lean muscle. It takes you about per pound of lean muscle you lose, takes you about a year to regain it. This is what we're doing is crazy. It's just crazy. We have more diets than ever, and we're getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and sicker and sicker and sicker. Do you know right now that 92% of you have what's called, you're considered by the CDC metabolically unhealthy? What does that mean? It means if you have 3 of these factors, if you're overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, you're considered metabolically unhealthy. Let me tell you how devastating it is now. In 1964, it didn't exist. I mean, metabolic factor. Right now, of the $4.5 trillion we spend on healthcare, $1.5 trillion is for metabolic dysfunction, which is a lifestyle disease. You understand we're going to bankrupt the world. I mean, the world can't keep sustaining this. We've got 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese, 2.5 billion overweight. We got a projection, Johns Hopkins Medical School, within 4 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese. And what do you keep doing? You keep doing these diets. Why don't you help us? Why don't you help us? Number one, to educate yourself first. And then, of course, maybe you want to do it. We don't have anything to sell. We're not selling you anything. We're researchers. We got coached. I lost 40 pounds at 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Doesn't that, and we're at 737. Come on, let's get some more likes. Hello, I'm Becca. Hello, Kevin77, Vivian's, John, Teresa King, 4478. Marcus Frugo joining from my post. Thank you. Lex and Sylvia. Listen, everybody, I'm willing to be wrong. Can anybody show me anybody you're following on social media that's showing you any published what they're talking about in medical journals? Not a scientific paper, not an opinion that they're giving you. Oh, I'm a health coach. Yeah? What does that mean? Have you got any medical proof for what you're saying? They're just regurgitating what they've all been told, calories in, calories out. It's so ridiculous. It's just, I mean, you got Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. They went on to say, we've been taught, this is Harvard Medical School, that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500, you lose about a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades old calories in, calories out is totally misguided. They're saying, stop counting calories. Instead, concentrate on the nutrition in your food. But you're not going to do it even with organic food in North America, I'm sad to tell you. Our food in North America, because of over farming and chemicals, the nutritional values are crashing. I mean, Cornell University did a study on spinach, on the iron levels in spinach from 1957 to 2000. They estimate the iron levels in spinach have decreased by, you ready for this, everyone? 4,300%. So a bowl of spinach in 1957, in 2000, you need about 25 bowls of spinach to equal the same nutrition. See, that's the only thing your body runs on. It doesn't run on calories. Please understand. Can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? You're all counting calories. Why? I didn't know what calories were 25 years ago. But that's what we're being told. Calories in, calories out. No one even knows what a calorie is. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Why are we counting calories? These people have convinced us. Fitness trainers and nice people. Dietitians, nutritionists, doctors, chiropractors, keto, paleo, none of these work. It's just so obvious. It's like right in front of us. Diets aren't working. They're not. Does anybody, I mean, you can disagree with me if you want. It's fine. Hi, Sylvia. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Sam. Hello, Stalin. But listen, everybody, look, this makes me really happy. Look at this. 200 pounds in a little over a year. No photoshopping. Look, where's the loose skin? Where's the loose skin? It's the same woman. I mean, yeah, she shaved her head, but it's the same woman. I mean, you can think look, if you think we're lying to you, you shouldn't be on this podcast. You should go follow one of these other influences. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. See, and we can back up what we say. If you go to the website, all of you, it's free to go to the website. The New Health Conversation. You type in Google, you'll see it'll go to the link. Give me 1 second. There's the link. Click on it. Boom. You're going to see the medical. There's the website. Nothing to buy, and we will not contact you if you go there. Number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. He'll explain to you why they've abandoned traditional diets. After 100 studies, 40 years, they said it would be unethical for us to ever recommend to any of our patients a traditional diet ever again because they don't work. And 25 to 40% of what you're losing on any diet you're on right now is your lean muscle mass, which is going to slow down your metabolism. You're going to gain all your weight back. Watch what happens. I mean, how's it turning out for you? How do you think you got to where you are today? But what's the future look like? Where do you think you're going to weigh in 6 months or a year? Even if you've lost weight, congratulations. But you're flying in the face of medical proof. I've got these, I'm just going to hold up just a few. This is just a few of all the studies that say stop counting calories. Calorie counting doesn't work. The grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. They did a 12-month study on low-fat diets, low-carb diets, keto diets, carnivore diets, macro counting, time-restricted eating. In a year's time, the least amount of weight loss anybody had was 11 pounds. That's horrible. But the most anybody lost was 16 pounds in a year. In a year. These are medical studies. It's not me making it up. Congratulations on whatever weight you're losing, but get ready because it's coming back like a hurricane. It's like a tsunami. The tide's gone out. Yay! But what's coming? How discouraged you're going to be and think it's your fault. It's not your fault. No. We're here to help you. We're your friends. We want to create an army, what we call legions of the well, to help the legions of the sick. What are the prices you're paying for the weight? This is not about fat shaming. It's the reality. The weight robs you of energy. The downward pressure on your spine and your knees and your back. But what if there is now a real medical solution? Look, are you kidding me? How many of you would be ecstatic to lose 5 pounds a week with no exercise? Can anybody comment? Does anybody want to comment? So TJ9850, Non, Pauline, Christy, Rosemary, lovely. You all can go to that website. It's right in front of you in blue, the New Health Conversation. Number one, if you go there, we won't contact you. Number two, if you do go there and you like what you see, you get to choose. You can scroll down and you get a free coach. It's not a gimmick. It's not going to get them like, well, the consultation's $100 and then we'll coach you for free. No, I see people trying to sell you apps to sell you recipes, and then you get a coach. We're not selling you anything. We don't have. This is food, and we coach you for free because we got coached, and we feel an obligation. We know this works. We know this is changing lives. We know what it could do for you. Now, let me tell you something else that's so unbelievable about this. 30% of what you would spend, you'd buy from your grocery store. You get a grocery store list. When I say 30%, whatever you spent last month on groceries, 30%, you'd get a list that the researchers developed: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, not calorie amounts, serving sizes. Very important, okay? But the other 70% of what you spent last month on food would go to pretty much pay for these exotic foods that other researchers found that come from around the world in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Why is that important? Because they represent huge amounts of nutrition in very small amounts of food. Now, what's so crazy about it, that 70% that you would spend if you decided to do it, those researchers, because you don't buy anything from us or the researchers who created this, it's 100% money back guarantee. You have no risk whatsoever. Your risk is you let your skepticism prevent you from changing the rest of your life. And right there, you can go to the New Health Conversation, you can get a free coach. I mean, what's your risk? Your risk is your skepticism prevents you from doing it, and you think somehow the diet you're on, where you're maybe losing measly half a pound to a pound a week, and you think that's great, relative to what? Relative to all diets, that would really be good. This is not a diet. It doesn't work like that. So I've got to go here in just another minute or so, but I want to leave you all with, please, for yourselves, go to that website, the New Health Conversation, okay? Now, I will probably come back on, let's see, I got 11:30. I'll probably come back on, let's say, around 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to do another podcast. But in the meantime, if you have a chance to go to the, now look, you're going to get a free coach. Well, you decide. If you go to the website, the New Health Conversation, you all can see it there, we're not going to contact you. Okay, everybody? Zora, hello. And Sophie and Missy. So what I'm saying to you before I leave, you all can go to that website for free, the New Health Conversation. Let me show you one last time. You can go to Google. You can type in the New Health Why wouldn't you go there? That's what I want to know. It's free. We're not going to contact you, and it's only the medical proof. Do you not want to see the truth? There's the website. Nothing to buy. Nothing. Only thing there is the medical proof. So you tell me. All right, everybody, I have to go. So I'm sorry, Sierra. Yeah, I'm going to come back on around 2 Eastern Time today. You're more than welcome to come and join us. Thank you, everybody. I'm adios now.